The liver is our largest internal organ. It's located in the upper right abdominal quadrant, most of it, just beneath the diaphragm. Has kind of a reddish brown look to it, and it is well supplied with blood vessels, and that's a very important part of its role in the body. So the liver has 4 lobes. The right lobe is the largest, the left lobe is smaller. The quadrate lobe is a minor lobe near the gallbladder, while the caudate lobe is a minor lobe near the inferior vena cava. The lobes are divided into lobules, and they are the functional units of the liver. Lobules have plates of hepatic cells that radiate out from a central vein. Here's a central vein. Their plate is right out here. And hepatic sinusoids run between the plates of cells. You can see those demonstrated here. Whoops, skipped one. Oxygen-poor blood from the digestive tract is going to be transported to the liver through the hepatic portal vein, where it is going to mix with oxygen-rich blood from the hepatic artery. That mixture of blood filters through the hepatic sinusoids, and the hepatocytes are going to adjust nutrient contents as the nutrients from the digestive tract flow by. The bile will be produced by hepatocytes, and that will leave through bile ducts. There we go. So the functions of the liver are to produce glycogen from glucose, and in some cases break down glycogen into glucose, depending on what the body needs, convert non-carbohydrates to glucose, oxidize fatty acids, synthesize some of the lipoproteins, phospholipids, and cholesterol. It converts excess carbohydrates and proteins into fats. It deaminates amino acids, forms urea. It synthesizes plasma proteins. It converts some of the amino acids into other amino acids. It's a location for storage of glycogen, iron, vitamin A, vitamin D, and vitamin B12. It's important in phagocytizing damaged red blood cells and foreign substances. That would include antigens. It removes toxins such as alcohol and several other drugs from the blood. It acts as a blood reservoir, and its role in digestion is to secrete bile. And here they are summarized. So again, while you're doing your work, I would encourage you to check out table 17.7. Replacing the liver. The liver is required to maintain life. You can't live without a liver. The liver is capable of regenerating if a quarter to 30% of it remains healthy. If cancer spreads to the liver, it's not a good place to get metastases. Prognosis would be weeks to months for survival at that point. A donor can donate part of their liver as regeneration can occur. There is a shortage of donor livers for transplants. There's a shortage of donors for all transplants. But you can donate a liver and still survive that. You don't donate your entire liver. They take a portion of your liver. It's not a trivial operation. Excuse me. But it is one that you will likely recover from. I have a friend whose wife donated his liver. He had to have a transplant because of a genetic disorder that he had. There are such things as extracorporeal liver devices, assisted devices that can temporarily perform some blood cleansing functions of the liver until the donor becomes available. It's a bioartificial, since it contains an artificial portion, the cartridge, and a biological portion that contains human liver cells. Bile is a yellow-green liquid that hepatic cells are continuously secreting. It's made of water, bile salts, bile pigments, cholesterol, and electrolytes. Those bile salts are produced from cholesterol, and they are important for emulsifying fats. You recall on Monday I told you that means to make it so that fats will better dissolve in an aqueous solution, a water solution. And that is the only bile component that truly has a digestive function. It allows the fats to be emulsified. When the fats can get into solution, they can be absorbed by the body. It's very difficult to absorb fats otherwise. The bile pigments would be bilirubin, biliverdin. They're both derived from the breakdown of hemoglobin. The cholesterol and electrolytes are also present. Hepatitis is an inflammation of the liver. There are many types, chronic or acute, and the types vary in severity. The most common causes of hepatitis is one of several viruses. Some people have symptoms with those, some do not, but they're still carriers. Some of them are bloodborne pathogens. You probably learned about them in your bloodborne pathogen training. Some forms are transmitted by contact with food, body fluids, or objects that have been contaminated. Antibiotics are generally not effective against viral hepatitis because antibiotics don't work against viral. Yeah. Hepatitis C is about half of all the known cases of hepatitis. The gallbladder is a pear-shaped sac on the underside of the liver. It stores concentrated bile. There is a cystic duct that goes from the gallbladder, joining with the common hepatic duct, forming what is known as the common bile duct. The bile duct empties into the duodenum through the hepatopancreatic ampulla, and that it has a muscle at the end called the hepatopancreatic sphincter that regulates the release of bile into the duodenum. Gallstones are concentrated bile salts that lead to crystals that form what we call gallstones. Excess bile concentration, too much cholesterol secretion by the liver, or an inflammation of the gallbladder can lead to gallstones. The hormone CCK, cholecytokinin, I know I said I'd never say it again, causes the gallbladder to contract in response to fats entering the duodenum, and bile is then released into the duodenum. So here are some hormones that have an effect on the digestive tract: gastrin, intestinal gastrin, somatostatin, intestinal somatostatin, cholecytin-ketin, CCK, secretin. And I again encourage you to review these tables as you go through and do your work and reading. Bile salts aid digestive enzymes through emulsification, which is the breaking up of large fat molecules into smaller droplets, so it acts like a soap or detergent. Aids in fat digestion by increasing the surface area accessible to the enzymes lipase. Bile salts also enhance the absorption of fatty acids and cholesterol by forming structures called micelles, which are almost little bubbles. They help absorb fat-soluble vitamins like A, D, E, and K. And almost all the bile salts are recycled. I recall on Monday I told you they're 95% recycled, so only 5% need to be made fresh each time. Symptoms of gallbladder disease would include pain in the upper right abdominal quadrant, the back, and the right shoulder, sometimes nausea and sweating. There are some tests we can use to visualize the gallbladder, including ultrasonography, X-ray called a cholecytogram. Gallstones can be found either in the gallbladder proper, within the cystic duct, within hepatic ducts, or in the common bile duct. And treatments would include surgically removing the gallbladder and using endoscopy to find stones and remove them from other areas. And that covers our section on the liver.